gap years were there, sir. But to be honest, I had learned that UPSC is a journey where we have some transferable skills, and how to showcase that transferable skills was well taught in the course. So I showcase these transferable.
So nowadays, companies are recognizing कि ठीक है, if you are preparing for UPSC, it's good because you have an inter-domain knowledge of subjects. Uh, and they haven't asked any question like what you are doing, why this gap, or why you are preparing for UPSC for past 4 5 years.
Still remember that I used to ask you, sir, there's a huge gap in my career, and how will I able. So मुझे लगा, yeah, we should be very confident about our UPSC preparation, and we should not see that as a failure.
But what if I say that you don't actually have to fake it? Gap years are okay, guys. Trust me, gap years are okay. Gone are the days when gap years were seen as a liability or something bad or incorrect. We are in India of 21st century. Hi everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. My name is Akshat, and today I'm going to be talking about a very important topic which we at Rebounds hear almost on a daily basis, which is about gap years. Gap years is something which every single individual who is preparing for UPSC, or for that matter any other competitive examination, is concerned about. What will happen if there are gap years on my CV? Are these gap years, or will these gap years become a drag to my profile? Will these gap years become a hindrance in me getting into the market, right? These are some of the questions, concerns. Everyone is worried about gap years when you're preparing for UPSC. Let me tackle this question once and for all for everyone. But before that, it is important to sort of talk about what people do when they worry about gap years. And people go to all the extent to sort of try and cover gap years. There are many people who come to me who say that, look, I have a friend, I have a family, I have an acquaintance who has a company, and they can create certificates for me, showing that I am an employer with them. Then they ask questions like, what do employees look for? Do they look for salary slaves? Do they look for what evidence essentially do employees look for, so that it looks like real, I actually got an experience or have an experience, and I can somehow cover my gap years for the last 2 to 3 years, right? Other people tend to enroll in open school degrees, maybe from IGNU or some other places, because they sort of want to cover their gap years while preparing for UPSC. Then there are other people, after 2 or 3 years, they tend to work in a coaching industry because they think that, look, if I work in a coaching industry, my basic minimal expenses will be taken care of, and also there won't be gap years on my CV. Then there are other people who fake things like entrepreneurship, family businesses, etc. They fake that on their CV because they want to cover their gap years. And there are many such things, right? People go to all the extent possible. They come up with all the weird questions just to ensure that they can fake it, more than anything else. They can show somehow on their CV that their gap years are covered. But trust me, guys, all of this doesn't work. Employers are not fools. I have hired people, I've been hiring people in the market for the last more than 5 years. Just by talking to someone for 5 minutes, or maybe at the max, 10 minutes, I can make out whether you actually have experience or carry experience, or you are faking it. It's very easy, it's not really difficult to figure out whether you are faking it or you actually have something on your CV, right? So let's not try to fool employers. Let's be real about it, right? If you have an experience, write about it. If you do not, please do not fake it. It won't take a long for an employer to figure out, potential employer to figure out that you are faking it. In this day and age, it's okay to have gap years. It's all right. People have gap years for all the reasons, all the valid reasons. You have gap years maybe because you're preparing for competitive examination. You consciously took decisions to sort of get into one endeavor with all the right reasons, and people in the market understand that, they appreciate it. Similarly, there might be other people, for whatever reasons, they take sabbaticals, right? Sabbatical these days are normal. They are not exceptions, and they are looked at like that. It is okay, it is normal to take sabbaticals, to take gap years, or whatever you want to pursue, for whatever you are passionate about. Maybe preparing for UPSC, be it preparing for UPSC, be it experimenting, various projects, learnings, etc. It's okay, trust me, I'm speaking from experience, if you have gap years. There is nothing called as gap year. You just took a sabbatical to pursue something maybe which you were really very passionate about. What employers look for is, here is a job description, here is your CV, is there a match or not? Or when they talk to you, do you carry basic fundamental knowledge and skills which they are looking for that particular role which you have applied? If you are able to demonstrate skills, mindset and knowledge, you are in, irrespective of the gap years. Okay? So please don't try and fake it, do all of those things just to cover up those gap years. Do not think that employers are fools. If you present real story, actual story, that is more acceptable than a fake story, which is very easy to make out. What recruiters are essentially looking for, they're looking for your confidence, confidently saying that this is something which you want to pursue, you were passionate about, and hence you didn't consciously decide to be in the market doing something. You consciously decided to take a sabbatical and pursue that one thing or couple of things which you were passionate about. You have gaps, so to say, for the right reasons. And those were conscious decisions which you took. Now you're getting into the market. You are fully aware of the fact that these are the roles which you want to get into. You are fully aware of the fact that whatever you pursued as part of the gap years, this is what you gained out of it. And this is how those things can be utilized in what you want to do next. You are absolutely clear of everything you have done in the past and how is that aligned to what you want to do next. That is what employers are looking for more than a lament or a regret in terms of gap years. If you express lament, if you express regret, trust me, you won't be hired, because it is a signal to the employers that you are not confident about decisions which you consciously took in the past. So the takeaways are: be absolutely proud about your choices. You took certain decisions consciously, you should own them, talk about them with confidence, be it with employers or be it with anyone else. That is what is valued more than faking about something or trying to cover up those things via means which are not good. Gap years are just a reflection, like I have on my slide, of the risks you took, the passions you explored, and the resilience you built along the way. And this is how you should feel about it. This is how you should be talking about it, right? That is why I have written about it multiple times, and I will say over here via this video very loudly: wear gaps as a badge of pride on your chest. Trust me, I'm speaking from personal experience as well as the experience of helping people in the last 3 years. Reasonable gap years, again, I'm putting asterisks over here. Reasonable gap years are okay. Gap years where you took conscious decisions to take a sabbatical and pursue something which you are passionate about is okay. You can be confident about it. You can confidently talk about it. You should wear it as a badge of pride on your chest and not worry about it or lament about it or talk negatively about it. However, having said all of it, you should also not be foolish. When I say foolish, all along this video, I've been talking about gap years are okay. Doesn't mean you end up having 4, 5, 6, 7, or maybe 10 years of gap. No. There is an inflection point beyond which having gap is foolishness. For example, I see people absolutely not doing anything, just preparing for UPSC year on year for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. This is being foolish. Beyond a point, beyond that tipping point, gap years start going against you, okay? Because whatever endeavor, whatever, good motives, with good motives, certain endeavors which you decided to pursue, there is a time limit to it. You cannot sort of tell to the employer that, look, this is the world's biggest examination, so I have spent 5 years, 6 years preparing for it. No, that story will be a foolish story. No one is ready to buy that. If you have consciously taken certain sabbaticals to pursue a certain endeavor, the sooner you realize that, look, things are not working out, maybe in a reasonable period of time. That reasonable period of time can vary from individual to individual, but certainly anything beyond maybe 3 years or at the max 4 years. After that, if you try to justify it because you were after certain competitive examinations, you will sound foolish. In 3 years, you complete a graduation in India, right? So beyond that, it just doesn't make any sense. I've talked enough times about Plan B and stuff like that. Maybe I will make more videos around it, but please understand, only reasonable gap years are okay. Beyond that number of reasonableness, which can vary from individual to individual, person to person, but certainly not beyond, let's say, for the sake of argument, 4 years, it is foolish. It will absolutely go against you. But before that, it's okay. These are conscious decisions. Be proud about it. Wear them as a badge of pride on your chest. And trust me, there are very few employers who would take negatively. Reasonable employers, including the good ones, understand we are humans. We want to pursue something. We are passionate about things. And, outcomes can lie on either side. You can be successful. You cannot be successful. That's fine. Okay. So, yeah, it's okay to have gap years. Thank you so much, guys. I hope this video was useful.